What's up, guys? Today I've got an FPS comp guide for you, and I'm going to talk about the strengths and weaknesses of both comps that are in the video. And first up is FPS versus Shatry play. Now, this is a pretty good win. You have a pretty good win chance here against this comp simply because of the fact that you have a lot of CC and a lot of sustainable damage. And our strategy, as you saw, is going to be to lock down the mage and priest, not allow them to cast, and CC the druid whenever defensives are used. Really, we need to get this mage to block twice, and then we win the game. Or maybe we can even get him whenever he blocks once, because we can MD it instantly, but that's probably not likely to happen, since the priest is generally going to save his silence for whenever his mage blocks. This team really doesn't have a whole lot of advantages over you, except for the fact that they can kill the resto shaman, which is me. And if they just all in me and CC my shadow priest, then I hardly have any peels. Our Feral Druid has to get his Predator Swiftness up every time he wants to Cyclone, unless he wants to hardcast them, and it's not going to go so well whenever they have so many forms of CC and Interrupt. My Feral and Priest are pretty much locking this mage down. He's not really doing a whole lot of damage at all, and that's exactly what we want. We really don't want this game to go on forever, but we want to end it as fast as we can. And the faster we get the blocks from the mage, the more cooldowns that they have to use, the faster the game ends, basically. I put a Hex on the druid whenever the mage blocks, and that is always something that is very good, because the mage is the only dispeller on their team that can dispel curses, and besides the resto druid. So I CC the druid through the mage's defensive cooldown that makes him invulnerable. And what that does is that forces the priest to have to heal and use his mana to heal his mage, and it forces the mage to come out of the block to get the druid out of the hex, because the block is pretty useless if there's a priest on my team, which there is, and the druid can't heal him during the block, so it basically renders it useless. So always be aware of that. Know that you can hex healers whenever the mage uses his block, because they really don't have any other option but to come out of it. We are locking them down. I'm not having to use hardly any defensive. Every time I see Shatter play, aka, they call it God comp. Every time I see that comp, I get a little bit nervous. And, this comp has been known to kill healers in deep freezes, so I'm just glad they never really went hard on me and used any major cooldowns, because I feel like they could have beat us if they did. I'm going to give this a difficulty rating 7 out of 10, simply because of the fact that they can basically destroy me, because I'm a resto shaman and I take a lot of damage to this comp. Next up is Jungle Cleave with our Holy Paladin healer, and this comp is definitely an interesting one, but it's not a very difficult one. Our main strategy is basically going to be to play offensive and not really allow the Paladin to have a whole lot, such as, you never let him have his freedoms, never let him have his bops, never let him have his divine pleas for the full duration, which requires you, the shaman, and your shadow priest to be dispelling. You have to. It's absolutely necessary, because that's their main utility. That's kind of like purging like resto shaman's Riptide. It's absolutely essential to outclassing the other healer. And basically what our strat is to CC the Holy Paladin, due to them being so vulnerable to CC, and Pally's not really having a whole lot of outs besides their trinket and their bubble, and not really any utility to get out of CC besides line of sight. And you can't always line of sight, especially against a comp that does as much damage as ours does. I have several games where we just kill somebody so fast that it's unbelievable. I'll probably post some of those as like joke videos on my YouTube, but I'm not exactly sure if it's the greatest idea, because then people will be like, how do you lose if you can do that every game? And you just saw the strength of our comp, us taking off the bubble and then putting the Paladin into a fear. We're going to go on him now, since he doesn't have a bubble anymore. And I'm going to help my team by purging and by keeping them out of stuns and snares and trying to stop the Cyclones from the Feral Druid. And it's going to pay off, because we're going to get this Paladin pretty quick here. And that's generally how the games go. If you put a hard swap onto the healer whenever you're playing against a team that really doesn't have a lot of peels, I can dispel traps off my team. So that renders the hunter basically useless outside of his silencing shots on the Shadow Priest and his scatter shots. Other than that, he really doesn't have a whole lot. And the Feral Druid, I can purge a lot of his stuff. I'm not really doing it a whole lot this game. I was a bit rusty whenever I played this game. I'm not trying to make excuses, but, I should have been purging a whole lot more. And I should have been purging the Feral Druid a whole lot more. And I'm going to give this comp a difficulty rating of 4 out of 10, because you should win generally unless they get really lucky and do some insane damage, and you just have to live through their cooldowns. That's really the only trick about it. And that's going to be the end of this video. I'm going to do several other short videos like this with comp guides, you know, such as FPS comp guides and stuff like that. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure that you subscribe if you're new to the channel. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you leave me a like. And if you have any questions or you just have some comments about the video, then drop a comment. And if it's one of your favorite videos, then add it to your favorites. I'll catch you guys next time.